Roll a d20.
Oh shit, I don't know.
6 for Sunny.
Okay.
Oh, 5.
Ooh.
Seeming to have mine.
No, last week I think I had a nat 1.
Oh, maybe that was it. Sonny got a...
Sunny got 6.
Oh, so Judd and Sonny get to re-roll.
I've not rolled yet. 1 second.
Oh, I thought you did, sorry.
I got 16.
Alright, it's all you then.
Shit. This is not the amount of thinking that I need. Oh, by the way, I don't know if you've heard, but it's definitely coming home.
Yeah, it's coming home.
Yeah, no, I think I heard something about that.
Okay, so let's see. We started off and I was in the Hells. Where I was taken to see a glacier. I cunningly escaped from the Hells. Because I am a baller. Better than everybody else. So I came back. You'd all left, but you eventually came back. Josh was an idiot and picked up the coin and started pissing off Hagenti and got taken to the Nine Hells.
Oh yeah.
So we swiftly made our way back to Malima, using the last of the juice of the airship. It is now out of commission for like 4 weeks. And
I thought it was 2 weeks.
oh, is it 2 weeks?
Yeah, I think it's 2.
It very well.
I think it's 2.
2 weeks then. And Josh is stuck in the Hells in some form of torture. Well, not torture, but reality, alternate reality or something. That's about it.
Okay.
I remember.
Anybody have anything that they noted that they'd like to add?
What was the black envelope? I've got some notes here. Black envelope arrives,
That was delivered to me.
and John vanishes.
I vanished first, but when I came back, the black envelope was addressed to me. Just 1 second.
Yeah, the black envelope was addressed to Jordan, talking about how the Hagenti was disappointed, and they'll
yes,
be
yes.
looking for him.
No, Glacier was disappointed. Again, he hadn't been disappeared, and they couldn't get in touch with him because he was still in the brass circle.
And where does the tale of the twins come into all this? I've got a note of some of the details.
While everyone was back at the archaeologist camp, Blow read his book that he found. The Tale of the Twins.
Yeah.
That's what Valoran's been looking for. That's why he set out to explore.
Yeah. Sonny bought some little vials and sent some samples of alcohol back to the monastery via the post office, magically insured for 10 gold.
And then I think that was it. Or did we head to the pavilion, or are we still in the tavern?
I think, as I recall,
We'd been to the pavilion.
you went to the pavilion and you had a chat, and then you went back to the tavern and went to bed.
Oh, yes. Okay, I remember.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think you've had a sleep, and you've woken up in the morning. Let's say you've had some breakfast, and the first thing that happens is, as you're sitting there finishing off your coffee and eggs, a messenger boy runs in and chats to the bartender, who points over towards your party, and he runs over. Sir!
Yes?
A message for you, sir! And he produces a slightly crumpled envelope with Jornan and the tavern's name on it, and he's holding it out, looking expectant. Jornan, sir.
Oh no, I'm not John, and that's John.
Oh.
I am John.
And he hands you. He sticks the letter out for you to grab.
Oh, is he waiting there with his hand out for a?
Yeah, he's got the letter in one hand and his open palm in the other.
All right, I give him a shot of something, alcohol. There you go, young lad. Enjoy.
Thank you, sir. And he knocks it back and hands you back the shot glass and gives a little bow and zips off.
Did he wince?
No, he talked it like a champ.
Yeah, Sonny's like, whoa. I've underestimated this town. So what does it say, John?
We are going for a bath. I'll read the letter, please, Alex.
It's a single line of text, hastily scrolled. All it says is, Jornan, we've had a response. Come at once. Master Wilhelm Mybert.
Seems like we need to go speak to the wizards. We need to head back to the pavilion. Can I have my phone back, please, little one? No. Okay. Yeah, we need to go back to the pavilion.
Okay.
All right.
Remind me who this response might be from. This is Adam speaking, not Sonny.
Wilhelm.
Master Pavilion.
What?
I remembered his name. Haha.
Yeah, headmaster, I think, is the title, right, Alex?
Just master.
Just master.
And what were they? Were they trying to get a hold of?
I think he sent I think he sent letters out to all or some other masters in other cities to see how they could help us get Thalar.
Ah, and they've had a response. Right, that makes sense now. Yeah.
He did also send one to Glacier, I think.
Oh.
Oh, well, let's see who he's had a response from.
Yeah, I think we should head there.
Wilhelm.
All right. You finish the last of your coffee and you head over there. It's decent time. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. And you get to the pavilion. You're led in, and as you go into the office, into that reception area, the receptionist there shuffles you straight on in. Clearly, you were expected. And on arrival, you see Master Mybert wearing his robes, with his beard and his piercing blue eyes. He's sitting behind the desk. With him are two people. The first is the Dawn Master that you met when you stayed at the Abbey the last time you were in Milima.
Okay.
Do you recall? Or shall I describe her again?
Describe her again. I recognise the...
She was the elfie woman, wasn't she?
Yes, I believe she was a half-elf woman of advanced age, wearing a rather elaborate sort of clerical habit.
Yeah.
Yes? And then with her, or with everybody I should say, there's a man you don't recognize. He's got golden sort of skin, fair hair, and amber eyes, and he's wearing nothing except a white kilt, and he's got a huge mace, which is slung over one shoulder like a baseball bat. He is shredded. And as you walk in, the master says, "Ah, you're here. Excellent, excellent. I believe you've met Dawn Master Shisk already." And she stands and gives you a little nod and says, "Master Mybert has informed me of the situation. We in the Order are gravely concerned for our brother Thalar and wish to help in whatever way we can to support that."
That is good to hear, Dawn Master, and good to see you again.
Mybert stands and says, "Glacier has sent a reply to our offer of parley, and wishes to meet tonight on neutral ground. We do not know what her intentions may be, but she has intended to adhere to the old laws, so an overt ambush is out of the question. To that end, however, you may still need to be prepared for a tussle.
And how does one prepare for a tussle with Glazier?
That is where I come in.
Carefully.
The man speaks. And
who
the
may-
Dawnmaster gestures. Sorry?
I was just going to say, and who may you be?
Yes, to that end, may I present Anael? And he gives you a nod and says, I have been sent here to support you by the Morning Lord himself. He feels my aid should better level the playing field, whatever Glazier's plans may be. Wait, because I know you'll spell it wrong because it's complicated. Anael.
Oh, I was so close.
Who is he? Is he the Dawn Master?
The Dawnmaster is the old lady. Dawnmaster is
Yes.
like a clerical title.
Yeah.
Shisk, that's right.
Valorn will ask him, who is the Dawn Master? Or, I'm sorry, the Morning Lord.
The Morning Lord is none other than Lathander.
We know that because it's what Taylor keeps talking about.
I think you probably would have talked your ear off on
Yeah.
Valorn is extremely hungover at the moment, so
that.
we'll give him that benefit of the doubt.
Okay.
So you're here to help us if things get out of hand with Glazier.
Indeed.
Do we need to discuss strategy on what you would like us to do in that situation?
The offer was made of parley. Hopefully, a negotiation will be swift and fruitful. But these are demons that we are dealing with, devils of the highest order, creatures of pure evil. We cannot rule out the fact that they may wish to backstab us, to warp the laws themselves, to arrange things in their favor. And if it comes down to it, we may need to fight our way out.
We have never fought anything of this level and power. Do any equipment or weapons at your disposal we could use?
And he takes the mace and he sort of places the tip of it between his feet and he puts his hand on the pommel. And as he does, this sort of golden light kind of ripples up his body. And he says, that will not be a problem.
Okay,
Well, that's impressive.
Yeah, I wish I felt better. I don't know you. I'm going to have to trust you, and take the good master's word that you can protect us, and take your word that you can protect us.
And mine, says the master. Anael is a known associate of the Wizard Pavilion. He has worked with us several times. He is of unquestionable character.
Well, I thank you again for coming to our aid and aiding our friend Thalar.
He gives a curt nod.
Where is the parley going to happen?
They have suggested a neutral location. It is a curious relic of bygone era. It is an arena, set in the astral plane, floating free from any other plane or dominion. It is one of the few places in the multiverse that has no affiliation whatsoever, and as a result is a very common meeting place for warring factions or differently aligned conversations to happen.
The astral plane can be very dangerous, though.
Indeed it can.
What are we doing to prevent any attack coming from
No wild creature would come within a country mile of the arena while either Glazier or indeed Anael, may be about. The aura of the arena itself is very strong, and the various beings which inhabit the astral sea have learned well to avoid it.
Very well.
Very well, yes. When do we go?
The meeting will happen tonight. You will go from here, from the pavilion, where Anael can take you through the portal to the astral plane. You will shift directly there. However, you have the day. You may do whatever you please in order to prepare, anything you may need, anything you may wish to do. Please return here at, and he looks at the note, and he looks at like a water piece clock, and then he consults with another sort of tick-tock style clock, proper clock. And he says at about, let's say, 8 p.m.
Okay, agreed.
It is now 10 a.m.
Okay.
All right, we'll see you then. And he sort of sits back in his chair and he starts to rifle through his desk for something.
Okay, should we have a private meeting somewhere and discuss this?
Yeah. Definitely, maybe we want to head back to the tavern or somewhere.
Valarin, I like your style. Yes, yes.
Figured you would.
You up for that, Jonan?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're head. I guess we might chat on the way. So
I think you would.
John,
I think you also, sorry, just to help set the scene. I think you would also, you wouldn't go all the way back to your own tavern, only because I don't remember what it was called. So instead, you have gone to a tavern which is just across the plaza from the pavilion called the Broken Wand, where you see various magical affiliated people and a heavy-set female dwarf behind the bar. Right, crack on.
okay. John, and you seemed quite concerned about the astral plane. I know nothing about the astral plane. What can I expect?
It's a good question. It's a spiritual realm, but any harm there it's true to your body. There are ways you can sever the connection between the soul and the body in the astral plane. It's what can make it so dangerous.
And are we at the mercy of Master Mybird and his colleagues and Glazier? Do you have the power to get us out of there, basically, is what I'm trying to say?
No, this is something far beyond me.
This is quite a vulnerable situation, but we need to get Thalar back.
I don't see that we have any choice.
No.
They know much more about this than I do. I don't see what option we have.
Then that only leaves one thing for me to do. Your strongest drink, my good woman.
Right. And she reaches down underneath the bar and she pulls out a bottle of fortified mead.
Nice. Valarin, Jonan.
On your chest.
It will, my good woman. Thank you. What's your name?
I'm Stola.
Stola. Fortified mead. Very nice. Thank you.
I was drinking mead last night. It's part of the problem.
Yeah, it's bad for a hangover. It's so bloody sweet.
Hair of the dog that bit you, then, eh?
Quite right.
I'm not up in the nest second ball.
Anything interesting happening today? Did you say Fola?
Stola.
Stola. Sorry,
I'm
Stola.
just gonna go grab my phone. I'll be back.
What's the gossip?
Let's see here. There have been some rumblings about the Duke, Lord Meech, arsehole that he is. Seems to be running with a bad crowd. Let's see, what else? People keep hearing all kinds of knocking sounds coming from underneath the ground. The paranoids think people are digging tunnels, but I think that's a bit ridiculous. There are already tunnels down there for the bloody sewers. Don't know why they need new ones. What else? What else? My brother just got a cat.
Ah, what do you call it?
Names.
Very good, Stola. Sounds underground. That does sound mysterious, doesn't it? And there's. I'm not very familiar with this town. We're new to town. Did you ever have tremors and shakes in the ground before?
No, we don't have too many. The fault line's been pretty quiet for the last 3,000-4,000 years. We used to have them really bad before my time, of course. It used to be really bad, and that's what drove up the mountains on either side of Melima, but it's been overdue for a major seismic event.
Oh. And has anyone gone down into the tunnels to take a look?
Well, the sewers are regularly patrolled for riffraff, you know, that kind of thing. The people who like to do things in the dark hide their shames away. But nothing that I've heard, at least, I'm no town guard, but nothing I've heard, at least, has been that untoward. There are rumours that if you go down there, there are passageways to other realms, dark and mysterious, horrible places that have sunk into the ground from times gone by, where aberrations and mind flayers and all manner live, but rumours alone.
There's bound to be some sort of treasure down there then.
If you hold stock with such rumours. If you don't, like me, then all that's down there is literally a bunch of shite. And I don't fancy prying through that to get some gold coins.
Yes, my village when I was a child was swallowed up by one of these horrible realms, and no one was ever to return.
No, I expect they wouldn't if the stories are true.
Well,
I imagine Sonny's probably got a faraway look in his eye.
Yeah, reliving it.
Stola puts a tot of gin on the bar. There you go, lad.
Thanks, Stola, you read my mind.
She gives you a wink.
So I'll give her a good tip.
Yeah, it's 10 in the morning, Sonny. Yeah, you do. It was 11 copper pieces for the mead. How much do you tip her?
I still haven't worked out the maths. How much is a silver worth?
10 copper.
And it comes to 11 copper, did you say?
It does.
I'll give her 2 silver.
Okay.
I'll take that.
Thank you. And she sticks it down her bosom.
I'll take that out of my notes. So, what are we going to do for the rest of the day? I'd quite happily get drunk, but there may be some more useful things we could do in preparation. But I just feel I don't know how to prepare for this.
Yeah,
for the mission ahead.
Prepared. I don't know how to prepare to potentially fight a demon princess.
Well, I think if I can step in, and you can just take this as, I don't know, you can justify this in game however you like. What I would prepare, from the way that they phrased it, it seems that would be the worst case scenario, would be to have to fight your way to safety. But what seems like is going to be happening is you're going to go there and you're going to try and negotiate Thalar's release by offering something that Glacia would want of equal or, such value. So what I might do is spend the day not necessarily preparing for a fight, because hopefully that won't happen. You know, it's not inevitable. But also just getting ready to think about what might be a suitable trade for someone like that. And you have the day to figure it out, or look for help, or make something, or whatever it is. You've got all day to kind of get ready for this negotiation in this encounter. And this is me as the DM trying to give you the ability, a little wiggle room, instead of just springing it on you, so that you've got time to come up with something instead of just whenever it's got in its pockets.
So perhaps we should go visit maybe a library or of some sort.
I do, yeah.
See.
What's been interesting to me is this comment that she has said she will obey the old laws. Is there anything, maybe a library or somewhere that we can learn more about these old laws, and perhaps we could use them to our advantage during the meeting?
Sure.
Or even some more background on Glazier herself. So a combination of those two things, the old laws and how we may be able to manipulate that to our advantage if required.
Sure. Okay. Is that Sunny's going to do that then, which is good.
Oh,
Does everyone want to do the same thing, or did other people have different ideas?
I think Valoran would want to do it as well. If not, just to learn more about Glazier herself.
Okay. I think that's a good idea. I will ask if Judd's. Are you back, Judd? Or are you still? Yeah. I would say Judd, Jordan would probably have a decent understanding of the old laws.
I know quite.
So I don't know if he would want to invest his time in something else.
I think that would be the best use of my time as well. With my research thing, I think I have a research background. I should know. If I don't know a piece of information, I should know where to find it. So
yes.
So I would assist in that, because the more knowledge, I think this is the way that we're going to get out of it, by being smarter. So I would assist them. I would be able to tell them the stuff that I know about the old laws, which is just that they are a set of governing rules for wizards and magicians.
Do we know who created the old laws? Or do they just kind of like naturally form as time went on?
I'm going to limit Jordan's knowledge to whatever Judd can remember, and then you can research the rest.
Okay.
It just seems to be something that came about as the only way that the parties could interact, really.
Okay.
It's very difficult to. Yeah, good point. But I don't really know.
Well, I think we're off to the library then.
Okay, so Jordan, using your powers of deduction and reason when it comes to researching, you quickly come to the conclusion that you think the best person, or the best place to find the information you're looking for, would be the library inside the Wizard Pavilion, because you remember that every pavilion has its own dedicated library. You remember you spent time in the Aston one. And so I think you're already across the street. I think you'd probably just head over there.
Let's go.
I think the best place we're going to get information is from the pavilion.
Okay. Will there be a librarian that can help in specialism?
Jordan would
but
know.
I would know how to search things and find information.
That's true. Jordan would also know that every pavilion has like a hierarchy of librarians. There's always staff available.
Yeah, it's a pretty standardized system within the pavilions. Finding information should not be difficult.
Okay.
So we'll head there.
Okay. You head right back across the street, and you ascend. The pavilion, as you may or may not remember, is a ring building with a courtyard, the round courtyard in the center, but then coming out of this ring, with the standard setup, and you ascend into it. It's a large room. I'd say it's probably 40 feet in diameter, which for and probably 30 feet high, all bookshelves. It's got those rolly ladders that help to get to some of the higher shelves. The upper portion of it has these, just like the Bastion one, has these almost like skylights that can open and close, and the roost above bars of wood, and in them are a variety of different shapes and sizes of birds. And you see them come through bringing scraps of paper or other little bits every so often, and then flying off again. All shapes and sizes: crows, eagles, robins, etc. In the what's sort of moving for here library, you see a few other patrons. There's a female halfling, a male elf, a male dwarf. And then you see a male gnome who clearly seems to be in charge. His robes look a little bit different from everybody else's, and he's walking around with an air of authority. He's putting books back. He's cataloging things in a large ledger. There's probably 10 tables, maybe, that's probably too many. There's maybe 7 tables, small little ones with 2 or 3 seats around the room that you can use for research and whatnot. And you've come in through the only available door.
Okay, so John, and which one's probably the librarian?
That Nomi looking one. We've been here before. I'm quite sure I've met him here.
Do you want to do the talking, or I'm happy to.
I mean, I can search a different area for the things that I might know, and if you're alright talking to him.
Yeah, sure.
Then I can do my own research.
Okay.
I'll go with you, Sonny.
Okay. So head over to the gnome.
Mm-hmm.
Hello there. I was just wondering if I could get some help for me and my colleague here. We're doing a little bit of research.
Oh, of course.
We are looking into Glazier, some history on Glazier, particularly her weaknesses, and linked to that is what we've heard is called the old laws that she obeys. We'd like to know more about those, and with a particular reference to Glazier.
Okay. And he shoots off and scrambles up a ladder, and he starts throwing books behind him, which expertly land in a little pile, one on top of the other. He's clearly done this before. And he zips sort of back and forth across the library with impressive speed for a gnomish man of quite advanced age. And he comes back with a little stack for you, and he says, I think these will help to get you started. And he hands you 1001 Demons. He hands you an introduction to the old laws, which is about 450 pages thick. He hands you the 9 Hells, colon, a history, and a few other sort of reference tomes. And he says, why don't you start with these, and you can come back when you're done.
Thank you. Sorry, I didn't catch your name.
I am Oruter Orlin Vormop Kalzer, Brian of Melima.
Very good to meet you, sir. Thank you.
And he gives a nod, and he starts to go and tell other things.
Okay, let's. Valoran, do you want to take? I'll take. Was it 1001 Demons?
Yep.
And do you want to have a look at the other one? I can't remember what it was called.
Yeah, I'll read through the history of the 9 Hells.
Okay. So how long do you spend doing this, just so I can see what
time?
Jordan might be doing?
What time is it
I'd
now?
say by now it's probably 11:30.
11:30. I mean, we're in the place we need to be for 8 p.m. anyway. So I would, stop in for drinks and a snack. And Sonny probably has drinks on him anyway, and maybe some boiled eggs. I'd be, up until 7:30 to find out what we need. So
Fine.
several hours.
Okay. Okay. Let's see then. Okay, so while you research, what's Jordan up to?
I'd just be looking around, trying to see if there's any extra books I can find. But after realizing that the librarian probably knows his own library best, I'd just join the others and assist them if I can.
Okay. So you do quite a bit of research, and you find out a little bit. You find out about the history of the Nine Hells. You find out some good details about the old laws, some of the history and tenets. There's a better word for it, but the sort of codices of them, and a little bit about Glacia specifically. So I will start with the Nine Hells. So the Nine Hells are so named because there are aptly 9 levels. It is a lawful evil alignment, and it borders with other lawful evil planes. There was an enormous war called the Blood War in sort of time immemorial, and the sort of consequence of that was that Asmodeus, the devil man, came to power, and so I'm just hang on, I'm just reading my notes. So the old ruler, a guy called Azoth, was eaten, is maybe the best word, by Asmodeus, who then used the power to swell into he's sort of on par with a lesser deity, where he wasn't before. He was just a demon, so he sort of granted himself this power. It is ruled over by him and 8 other vassals who are all archdevils, one of them being Glacia. I can go into the specifics of each level, but I don't think you'd find anything specifically interesting, except for the bit about maybe Glacia's realm. That might be a little more helpful. And to that, I'll talk about Glacia a bit as well. So Glacia she is the daughter of Asmodeus, but she was not always the ruler of a particular layer. She was originally the consort of a guy called Mammon, who ruled over the 3rd layer of the 9 Hells. So they were together for a while, and then the relationship changed a bit because Mammon decided to fight against Asmodeus during this giant blood war.
Mm-hmm.
And so, obviously, that's not going to sit too well with the fact that he's fighting against Daddy Dearest. So, eventually, Asmodeus won the war, and Mammon came crawling, and Asmodeus took Glacia away and appointed her queen of a particular kind of demon that she absolutely hated. And the 6th level was ruled over by someone called the Hag Countess at the time. The Hag Countess was obsessed with gaining a true divinity, and so she tried to gain godhood, but it didn't work, and so she began to grow and swell at this uncontrollable rate, and the whole of the 6th level of hell, which was previously very rocky, very craggy and barren, is now essentially her enormous, bloating, rotted corpse now that she's dead. When she died, Glacia saw the power vacuum and came sweeping in on a palanquin and took control, and she used the Hag Countess herself to decorate her new home. And he was then gifted more power as a result of sort of ascending to this archdevilhood. She is... what's the best word for it? Vindictive and manipulative and all the things that sort of lawful evil encompasses. She is very precise. She's not going to destroy things for the sake of doing it. Much more calculating than that is maybe the best way of putting it.
So just a question.
Yeah.
If she were to say something or ask or give us an offer, would we be able to understand that she's being genuine, or would we still suspect that?
I would say that the prudent adventurer she wouldn't just lie for fun, but she would sort of do whatever it took to achieve a particular goal, if she thought it was the right thing to do. So she's not about death and destruction for its own sake. There are chaotic evil demons for that'll just sort of crave bloodshed and want, blah blah blah. She's much more calculating. So if you think that you and she could be on the same side, you would have every reason to trust her, because she's all about growing her own power and furthering her own ambitions, because she wants to, not just about tearing things apart for the sheer sort of glee of it. If you're on the other side of her, she may well, want you to succeed in a particular thing, but there may be a lot of ulterior. So I would always just make sure that you don't take it necessarily at face value. See if there's something that could be in the subtext.
Okay.
Yeah.
But for the most part, we could trust her word, but like she's being honest. No, or not completely honest, but like she wouldn't go back on her word.
Yeah, she would have a reputation for straight shooting is maybe the best way of putting it. So not perfect, she's still a demon. She's still evil, literally evil. But she's not just gonna turn on a dime and go crazy and, kill everybody just because she feels like it. She would stick to her guns, I suppose. Not a super great way of putting it, but there's that there.
All right.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions so far? Otherwise, we'll get down the rabbit hole.
Nope.
Okay. Okay. So, that is good. The little bit about the old laws. So the old laws are indeed very old. They come from the Feywild. They're written by the Fey. As a sort of code of conduct for magical governments is maybe the best way of putting it. There's a better word for it. The powers that be, on how to interact in a peaceable way. And there are a few things that you learn about them. You learn about the safe passage of messenger. Don't shoot the messenger is in the law. You can't kill someone just because they give you bad news. You also, this whole safe passage clause extends a lot further in that as long as it then rolls into a much larger portion of the old laws, which is based off of this guest-host relationship. So if someone says specifically that they are your guest, or offers you those kinds of protections, or makes an offer to you under those laws of safe passage, of non-aggression, then you buy that. It means they're not going to harm you. It means they're not going to drug any food or drink which is directly offered to you. It means they're not going to stab you in the back when you're not looking. It also means, as a host, that they're bound to protect you from outside influences, because they have a responsibility to make sure that you are seen safely through as their guest. But you learn that a violation of the old, there's a little more to you learn that a violation of the old is extremely dire, because the whole of a magical court, or in this case the wizard's pavilion, is as a whole like set of government. So all the members then underneath it, all of the Fae, all of the vampires, whoever's going to be a signatory to this kind of thing, whoever's going to be abiding by these laws, invoking them. If you violate them, you then lose the protection of your home faction. So if you wrong them, they can either punish you themselves, or you open yourself up to retribution from other members as a lawbreaker. And so if someone says, okay, I'll give you safe passage, and in return, you won't harm me as well, we'll have this non-aggression thing, and you attack them, then all bets are off. Then they can kill you with impunity, that kind of. You learn that if a member, or if an adherent to the old laws is killed by another adherent without sort of specific situations being met, like a duel or other sort of agreed upon bits, then the offending party, the court or the government of that offending party, has to pay compensation to the other one. the other faction, to the relations of them or whatever, in sort of in compensation for the death. You learn all about these. It's a whole volume all about the dueling codes, where you can you pick a second, you pick an emissary, and they go and they relay the message. You choose your weapon, and yada 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 yada. Very sort of classic dueling stuff, but it's all very strictly agreed upon in an honor-based sense. And you get the sense that as you're reading them, much like any kind of good government regulation, just what we wanted in fantasy world, government regulation. But you learn that, as with every kind of government regulation, each of these tenets that is put in there in the updated versions is sort of the direct response to when something went wrong. So you find these specific bits about, you're going to choose a weapon, but the available weapons aren't necessarily restricted to those that are usable by both people. And if the challenger can't use the weapon the challenge chose, then they can force the challenge to take a second choice. There's all these like weird interspersing things that you get the sense are like, it's a lot of trial and error over thousands of years. That's maybe the gist of what it is. Most of it, you get the sense, most of it is based around guest-host relationship and this idea of adhering to it, so that offers made underneath these laws, because there are more volumes than you have the time to, but what you glean is offers made underneath these laws, or the invocation of them, or the adherence to them in any respect by a particular magical faction, is something that you could put a lot of stock in, because like the Geneva Conventions in real life, if France suddenly decided it didn't want to adhere to the Geneva Convention anymore, all the other signatories to the Geneva Convention would then turn around and sanction France and, put their foot down and do that kind of thing. So that's what you glean about those kinds of things.
Cool.
Any questions?
No, I don't have any questions.
Okay.
No.
I hope to God you wrote all that down.
I actually did.
Good.
Well, I summarized a lot.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
I think that's what Valoran would do.
Yeah, absolutely. Valoran would also take note of the duel rules that they have, seeing as he is a gladiator. That sort of stuff does interest him.
Okay.
About what time is it, or have we finished studying?
Currently, I'd say, well, yeah, that can take you right up to. The reason I was going to open it up to more questions is because I think that's what you learn generally. But then, if there's anything else that you wanted to find out or know, then sort of speak now and forever hold your peace. Because by the time we finish this out of play chat, it will be 7:30.
No, I'm good.
Yeah, I think I'm good too.
Okay.
Jordan?
Yeah.
Cool. In that case, it is now 7:30.
Just as a point, during like halfway through the day, I would have recast mage armor.
Okay.
And maybe taken a short rest or something.
Yeah.
So, where are we supposed to meet Nail, and the others?
In the master's office.
Sonny, Jordan, are y'all ready?
Yeah, let's go. Thaylar needs us.
As ready as I'll ever be. Yep.
Alright, let's go parlay with a demon princess.
Rock and roll.
I am appreciating your enthusiasm today, Trevor. Thank you very much.
Someone's got to make up for it. You.
Yeah, I figured since you're hungover,
reprobate.
I gotta, jump up a little bit more.
It's not my fault. It's coming home.
It's ironic that the frat bro is the only one that isn't a dirty little stop out.
In my defense, I was back home at like 1 o'clock, but I did carry on drinking till 5 a.m.
Oh, Jesus wept.
That's how you do it. Thank
Football
God.
hooliganism is real.
And in my defense, I'm
And
also.
that's what you all are. You're all
drinking.
hooligans. Right. You head back down to the master's office. It's 7:40. And you go in, and he's sitting at his desk. He's alone at the moment. And he looks up as you come in and says, "Ah, you're a little early. Welcome."
Eager to save our friend.
Indeed. We are expecting NIL presently, but we've got a few minutes.
So we've been trying to prepare. We've been learning about the old laws and the history of the Nine Hells.
Very good. That is a sensible approach. As a visit, I'm sure. And he sort of gives a knowing look to Jordan, who he hopes will share his little comment. I'm sure you know that knowledge is power, and proper research can help to turn the tide against brute force.
I fully agree.
Yes.
So how do we proceed?
What, metaphorically or literally?
How do we get to the next stage?
NIL will be taking you. He will be opening a portal to the Sky Arena.
Well, while we wait for
Yes.
Niall, I would like to go use the bathroom.
Oh, yes, just down the hall. It's on the left.
Thank you very much.
Oh, no problem. Is that Trevor actually wanting to use the bathroom?
I don't think that was roleplay.
I think his silence speaks volumes.
I believe he is weird.
Very good. Well, I'm sure he won't be a moment. What is the next England game? Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Yeah.
So it's France-Belgium.
Yeah.
When's that today?
No,
Okay.
France, Belgium. There will be like Tuesday or something.
Okay. And then who's the other quarterfinal?
No, these are the semis. We're at the semis.
Oh, France and Belgium won their respective quarter. Very good. Okay.
Yeah.
The other question that I was going to have for everybody was, as I'm sure you're already aware, the final is on Sunday.
Oh.
If England makes it to the final, the game's at 11 in the morning.
There's no if. Right?
Excuse me. Because England will be winning the final.
Yeah.
I was just going to ask. I assume that everyone English and Scottish in this, well, maybe not, in the group may be otherwise occupied that evening.
Yes.
Will that be the case if by some unthinkable circumstance somebody else happens to be in the final? I just want to know if we should just cancel it or if we should wait to see what happens.
I should be fine either way, pending the time of the final. The time doesn't get in the way, does it?
No, it's 11 in the morning, but I just expect that if England wins the final, you'll be absolutely out of your...
No, I don't think so.
You don't drink, period?
Not
anymore.
not on Sundays. I've got work in the morning, so I wouldn't be drinking.
Yeah.
Very good.
I don't think I'll be in a fit state to play Dungeons and Dragons. Or maybe I'll be much better. I don't know.
I'll tell you what, if you show up absolutely actually drunk, I'll give you advantage on every roll.
Are we talking about next Sunday?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll be fine to play.
Yeah, I know you will.
I don't have a dog in that hunt.
It's 4 p.m. the final is.
At 4 p.m. I thought it was at 11. I just googled it.
Well, I've got 4 in the afternoon.
Yeah, it's 11 Eastern.
Oh, but my VPN is still on.
It should be over by the time we play, though.
Yes.
It only takes 2 hours.
Yeah.
Good. Well, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see what Sailor's do, or what Josh is doing. If he's unavailable, we'll not bother.
Yeah, that sounds like a sensible
I think
approach.
he's the best.
Who knows? England probably won't even be in the final.
Fuck off.
Hey, I'm rooting for them. I am rooting for England. I was rooting for Sweden first, but then they lost. So
This is dangerous talk, Trevor. Jordan might just have to stab Valoran in the back, literally.
Yeah, don't forget we are traveling to the astral.
Hey, to be fair,
I can sever your soul from your body.
Valoran is a diehard English fan. So.
It's just Trevor.
Can't blame him.
That's some good RP. Okay. Any more?
No. Let's do it.
You find there's a lull in the conversation. The master is, writing a letter, doing something on his, polishing his glasses. And in the corner of the room, a slit appears in the everywhere, the dimension, the fabric of reality. And it widens and it glows with light on the edges, and through it steps a creature, a man, 7.5 feet tall, with 2 enormous white feathery wings. And you recognize Nil, but he's grown since last you saw him. And his features are far more serene and severe at the same time. And he looks down and he says, "It is time."
We're ready.
And he stands aside with a thud and gestures through the portal. Through the portal, you can see the entrance, shall we say, the front of what this giant astral arena presumably is, like a courtyard, and beyond it you can see the shifting gray, silvery stuff of the astral plane.
Alex, I'd like to. Do you know what Know Your Enemy is for fighters?
I'm about to.
Okay. I would just
1 minute observing somebody, and you can gain information about either the HP, AC, class level.
Yeah.
Okay.
Other relative things.
I'm
Sounds
just
good.
curious what Niall's would be his level, and I would say his HP, and it's dependent on if it's higher, equal, or lower than mine.
Okay. So you're gonna do that. You're gonna find out that he is. I don't think there's a direct correlation between challenge rating and level. It's not 1-to-1. In the sense that a challenge rating 2 foe is not the same as a level 2, because NPCs are built in D&D a lot differently to player characters.
But if he
So
can
I'll give you his.
teleport,
Sorry.
if he can cast teleport or plane shift, he would be a very high level caster.
Yeah, he's a challenge rating 10 is what I'll tell you. I don't know what level that would. I think it. Hang on. No, it just tells me his casting ability is charisma. How many? What's your max HP there?
Mine is 51.
Yeah, it's a lot higher than yours.
Okay. Yeah, I was just curious. And I wanted to use that ability.
That's a useful one. How has that not come up before?
It's only for level 7, so I've only had it for a couple of sessions, and we haven't really run into enemies.
That's fair. It's been a while.
Yeah.
I wanted to give you something to punch, which is why hopefully this is. Well, we'll see how it goes.
Dun
I put a fight in my back pocket if you guys are really bad negotiators, so that you can beat something up.
We're probably not the best. Let's be honest.
Well, let's find out, shall we? Okay. What do you do?
Think we walk through the portal?
Let's go on through.
Okay. You step through. Who's first?
Yeah, I was gonna say, who's gonna be the first one?
I will.
Yeah, John and leaders.
All right, I'll follow Jordan.
And I'll follow the Lauren.
Okay.
Roll for initiation.
Roll initiative. No. You walk through and you step onto a platform, and behind you is nothing but empty astral space. You are at the edge of this entrance, which is clearly only reached by magic. There's no road or land. You are in fact floating high above the astral sea below. On either side of you are staircases that do that thing where they go. How am I going to describe this? They go out, and then there's a platform, and then they come back and join together, and then go through a central entrance. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if you could walk 25 feet up and then straight, you would go through the door. But these staircases kind of jog back. There are intricately carved columns framing the border of this courtyard, and Nil steps through the portal behind you, and it closes, and he begins to climb the stairs.
I will follow.
Yeah, you do. He walks through this central hexagonal entrance, and you are inside a large stadium, is perhaps the best way of putting it. It is probably 300 feet in a circle, 300-foot diameter. It's got stadium-style, like tiered seating. It's all carved from this unidentifiable rock. Very sort of, I guess, Colosseum-style seating, where it's just like stairs that you sit down on. There's not really a huge distinction between some of the staircases and the actual seating itself. You're on a central staircase, which is delineated apart from the seating, which leads down onto the floor, the polished stone floor of this huge arena. Dotted around the arena are, at about 75-foot intervals, I guess would be the best way of putting it, in equal space-time, are large, intricately carved columns with various images. What's the best way of putting it? Different creatures in sort of idealized poses of battle, holding a sword or a bow and arrow. This was clearly a place of trial, of combat, of proving oneself. Proving ground is the word I was looking for. Thank you. And that's where you've now found yourself. It's clearly been disused for a number of years, and the battles themselves have taken the toll on the arena. So you can see there's chunks of the wall, the chunks of the staircase, stadium seats that's just gone, blown apart by some magical blast, and nobody's bothered to actually replace it. One or two of the columns have sort of collapsed on themselves. This is very much a ruin, but still, in some version of use. But nobody, as was mentioned, nobody's really claimed it, so no one's kind of doing the upkeep. People still come. Waiting for you on the other side of the arena, you see Glazia. She's got a few demons here and there. Jornan, you see Hagenti is there. And floating about 4 feet off the ground, upright, looking as though underwater is maybe the best way of describing the manner of flotation, is an unconscious Thalar.
Thalar!
I think Valoran would take a second to just think back on his past, being back in an arena of this size. He would be a little distant from everyone else.
I will bow to Glacier.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were going to say something else. Yes, she acknowledges, and she gives you a respectful nod of the head.
I followed Jonan's lead and also bow.
And he returns the gesture to you as well.
And I'll also say, words? Those words will sound like, I'll say, thank you for agreeing to meet us, my lady. I apologize for the manner of our parting last time.
Yes, regrettable, but bygones and all.
I thought you might appreciate the things I could do for you if I showed you at least some manner of my power in
Indeed,
return to my own dimension.
Sorry, say that last part again.
In being able to return to my own plane.
Of course. Your method of departure was most ingenious.
It pays to be resourceful sometimes.
She chuckles quietly. Now, I understand that you're here to bargain for, and she kind of gestures to Thalar, the cleric. And I see that you've brought company. How are you today, Anaya? Sneers. She laughs at that.
He's fine, and yes, we'd like our idiot back, please.
Very good, and you shall have. But what do I get?
This is how bargaining happens. What would you like?
What would I like? I'd like something of equal value.
Oh, as I've already said, the man's an idiot. He's not of that much value.
I was just
Then
about
you
to say.
shouldn't mind too much if I'd keep him.
I shouldn't.
I'm sure I could furnish you with a much more competent associate. And she sort of gestures at the demons she's got here. All very skilled, highly trained.
I think what Jordan was saying, Thalar has sentimental value.
Sentiment.
How does one estimate the value of someone in these situations? Does the old laws specify this?
No. It doesn't specifically say one dwarf equals.
I was asking Glazier just to emphasize that the old laws are applying here.
Yeah, of course. And she says, unfortunately, the authors of the old see fit to include a handy table that one can cross-reference in situations like these. Besides, something is worth only what the other person will pay for it.
How much gold would you like? If you want gold.
I have no need for gold. I'm very sorry. No, I require something as useful to me as either this plaything or some kind of assistance with some of mine own aims.
And what aims would those be?
Why, my various whims and whimsies. Jordan knows a thing or two about it.
Yes. So, that's what we're bargaining for then, is it?
Not necessarily. That was merely an example.
John, and what's she talking about here? What will we be involved in?
The same reason I was taking that.
She wants someone to essentially bow to her?
Yeah, I guess. She wants help with whatever she is about.
And what do the wizards think about this? What are they doing? Or John, and put that to you, what would they allow us to do the bidding of Glazier?
Compacts are made with demons and devils regularly. Main issue would be the whatever we were sent to do. If it was an evil act, then yes.
Perhaps Anio will be able to help us? Does anyone think?
Just give me 1 second.
Yeah, I wonder if Anile could negotiate on our behalf.
You've got the sense that Anile is there as
Security.
Your backup,
Yeah.
your muscle. You know, he's vehemently anti-demon. He thinks the whole idea deals horrent. As would any celestial. I think you would probably know that. This isn't specific to Anile. And so I don't think he's going to be a big help when it comes to the soft skills, but he's there. As you mentioned earlier, Lathander sent him to kind of back you up and help out Thalar if worst came to worst and you needed to start trading blows, because he knows that you're not going to have any chance against some of these bigger demons.
I wonder how Lathander would feel if we were to trade essentially Jordan or one of us for Thalar. Or Nile, for that matter.
Right, sorry, what was that? I was being asked questions.
I was saying, I wonder how Lathander or Anaya would feel if we traded you, Jordan, or someone else in his place.
I doubt they'd be very pleased. I'm sure Thalar would rather see himself being as a sacrifice, being the Lathander being the Lord of Suffering. Yeah, that's correct, isn't it, Alex?
What?
Lathander is the god of like suffering and pain. Oh
no,
which one's that? Oh,
no, that's Ilmater.
Yeah, never mind.
Lathander is the god of like
dawn,
bunnies and kitties and the dawn. Yeah.
Right, well.
Hey, I like bunnies.
There's nothing wrong with bunnies, but it's different from suffering and pain.
Yeah, I thought that was a weird god for Thalar to follow at first.
Well,
it's about taking on the suffering of others, not.
Yeah, he's basically Ilmater is thinly veiled fantasy Jesus. Like he's got all these wounds all over him for like he bears the world's pain, and his followers have to like intercede at their own detriment to martyr themselves if others are suffering, kind of thing. So there is a very lawful good god of suffering and pain, but not in necessarily inflicting it, but sort of relieving it by taking it on.
So, I guess we need to hear more specifics of what Glazier would like us to do, and then we can weigh up the balance if that's worth Thalar.
It would be. We can try, but it is doubtful she will tell us beforehand what she wishes us to do. It's more like she would prefer us to owe her time or favour, which is what I'm thinking of offering her.
Right, okay, so a specific amount of time.
Yes. And then we can make that amount of time as low as possible.
Okay, that's a contract that can be achieved, isn't it? We don't want to get trapped into something that we never get out of, where if there's a time limit agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the sound of that.
My lady?
Yes?
If we're here to bargain, then let's begin. I will offer you my services.
Her eyes sort of light up a little bit.
For 1 week.
No. You see, I'd rather hoped that, this one, what's he called? She's gesturing to Thalar.
Alright. I just call him an idiot, but his name's Thalar.
Thalar, fine. I rather hoped that I would break the will of this one and that he would become my servant. You see, I thought that would be rather fun. But that would be for a little more than a week. So you see my predicament. It's rather a sunk cost.
Well, this is how bargains are struck. How long would you like?
Let us not place a time limit on it, say, but rather a task on it. I have endeavors that I occasionally need assistance with on the material plane, and they may not take a week, they may take a day, they may take 2 weeks, they may take longer. What I'd like is someone to assist me with these, not necessarily forever, not indefinitely, but from time to time, as I require. Shall we say 3 tasks?
2.
She thinks about that. She says, 2 tasks. Each?
No, me for 2 tasks.
Just you, huh?
Any services that I need, I will obtain help myself. Be it from these or other people.
Very well. 2 tasks it is.
And Dale, the idiot, is returned.
Yes, you can have him back.
Hope he wasn't too rude to you, my lady.
No, he's been, well, like this for pretty much the whole time.
Very well, I believe you know how to contact us.
Certainly I do. And in fact, she snaps her fingers and Thalar sort of floats over towards you, and NIL catches him and he collapses. The Thalar does into his arms. NIL just kind of throws him like a fireman over one shoulder. It's most undignified. In fact, I think I'll make good on one of those right now.
Okay, what do you wish?
Well, I think what I need right now... I tell you what. I need a little help with a small matter. You will go to help me gain influence over the flesh court of vampires. They are ancient, and they pose little political value, but their ferocity and strength will prove a vital asset for my various endeavors. And she's looking at NIL as she sort of plays coy. Whatever it takes, do what you must, and report back to me when you've made some progress.
Very well.
Is that it?
Unless you had anything else, what do you like?
Don't tell her anything.
My lips are sealed.
What a shame. Well, you know how to get in touch. And she snaps her fingers, and the whole demon sort of, what's the word I'm looking for here? Cotillion.
Ensemble?
Yeah. Contingent. Maybe? No? Anyway.
Retuin? How do you say that word?
Yeah. Retinue.
Retinue,
The lot
that's
of them. The lot of them. Go up in flames, as you've seen both Jordan and Thalar do now. And they're gone. And Anasiel looks down at you and he says, I do not like that you will have to serve her, but I am pleased to have the Dawnbringer back.
I'm not too keen on it either, to be honest with you, but I didn't see another way out.
No, well done, Jordan.
A goodly trade.
And if I have to play messenger, and that's all it is, though I fear it won't be, and we can manage that.
So we've got to play messenger to the vampire realms.
And the
To the
flesh
flesh
court.
court.
The flesh.
Do we-
court.
Do we know where that is?
No, but we'll be able to find out.
And at least we don't have Hagenti and the coin stuck with us.
Who is that? I was afraid that's what she would want.
Yeah.
So
Anil, can we go home, please?
Certainly. And he claps his hands, and there's a flash of white light, and the next thing that you know, you sit bolt upright. It's the middle of the night, and you're in your beds in the tavern.
I can't remember if we're in separate rooms or not.
You, I think, had 2 rooms of 2.
Yeah, I think me and you, Sonny, are together.
Valarin, was that a dream? Have we got Thalar back? I think I'd jump to my feet and go run into Jornan's and Phalar's room.
You do. You find Jornan bolt upright on the bed. Phalar is
I will
still
have cast light onto my staff or whatever I have.
Yeah, it's well lit. Phalar is still lying on the bed, eyes closed, breathing softly.
Jornan, is he okay?
As far as I can tell, she's good to her word.
Why isn't it? Is he resting? Will he wake again?
I don't know. I've not tried that far yet.
Shoot.
Perhaps we should try to wake him.
I will cast Mage Hand and give him a slap.
There is a mighty, and his head shifts aside, but his breathing doesn't change, and he doesn't stir.
Is there
Well, in fairy tales, they're always woken with a kiss, so pucker up, fellas.
Maybe Sonny gets out some very strong spirits and wafts them under his nose.
No change.
Damn, that'd wake up a sleeping bull. That. How did we get back here? I don't. Did we go on a bender and celebrate? I don't. Last thing I remember was
being in the arena.
Yeah. Aniel's clapping his hands, and then I woke up. Do we need to get a doctor? A wizard?
Perhaps we should go see Master Wilhelm at the pavilion.
This isn't an arcane master. We would need a healer or a doctor. But I suspect mostly he would be exhausted. Aniel would have known if there was something wrong with him. Should have known.
So do we leave him? We should guard him. We need to leave him to rest, but don't feel comfortable leaving him here all alone.
Well, I'd like to finish my night's sleep first. Or get a night's sleep, should I say. Then we must seek information.
I start rolling out my bedroll on the floor next to Phalar.
Why is this happening?
I'm not. I don't want. You can go sleep in my room then. I don't want to leave Phalar's side.
Yeah, I think Valorn would do the same.
Sleepover.
1 second.
Although Valorn would probably like to sleep with Jordan.
Oh my.
No, not happening. Just 1 second.
I left my bedroll in the other room.
Well, go get it.
It's like, Valorn will slowly go get his bedroll.
I imagine there's very much the Charlie Brown
Yeah,
shuffle away.
I don't know why you're here. Just go back to your room, it's fine.
I'm not going anywhere.
God damn it. Neither am I, this is my room. But you two sleep on the floor.
Okay. So I guess we get some more sleep until the morning.
Yep, everybody mark a long rest. I don't think you got anything that needed recharging.
No.
I was missing a few extra hit dice.
I need to get you to fight something. I feel like you haven't fought anything in a long time.
I feel like I've not fought anything in a while. I could fight these two.
I've got a flow chart and everything now.
Yeah, that's true. I saw that. That was cool. Right.
Wait, what? A flowchart?
Flowchart?
Yeah, I made myself a little flow chart to help me figure out what to do with Sonny. He's got that many skills and stuff, and that I think I've been not using properly. Made myself a little flow chart for when I get into trouble.
Show us the flowchart on Twitch. Oh, you've got Apollo. Huh?
I put a link to it in Discord.
Alright. In which bit?
Probably just general. Dated 26th of June.
Oh, right. I'll just have a quick look at this while we're napping. In the morning, does he wake up at all?
No.
Oh no. I see Glazier didn't specify how quickly we had to do this mission.
What if he doesn't wake until we complete the 2 tasks?
That seems like we would have been double crossed there. That wasn't the agreement.
Double cross. That is not being specific enough. That was probably my fault.
Well, I think we should absolutely head towards the flesh court, try to figure out where that is, and try to get this done as quick as possible.
But do we take Thalar unconscious with us? Do we get the wizard's pavilion to care for him while we're gone?
Well, taking him to the Temple of Lathander would be a better move.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Okay. Let's do that then.
Well, I guess I will pick up Thalar's body, and we will head towards the temple.
When we get outside, I will spend 10 minutes casting Tensor's Floating Disc, which creates a like a 3-foot stretcher we can put him on.
Perfect.
Oh yeah,
He's not
perfect.
that short.
No, but 3 feet will support most of it. Will support like his torso and
Yeah, maybe his
legs.
legs will be dangling. So.
Yeah, so just his knees, and he's 3 foot off the ground, so it shouldn't be an issue. And it'll float for an hour.
That's fine. It doesn't take you an hour to walk there. You head to the Temple of Lathander, and you see all the nuns and clerics and the monks sort of wandering around as you've done before. And as you approach, you're heading up the stairs with this unconscious Thalar. 2 nuns, young nuns, run out with holy symbols in hand, and they run up and they say, "What's happened? What's going on? Does he need healing?"
He needs healing or watching just for a while. He was under the influence of a demon.
Oh,
He was in the clutches of a demon.
I see.
And I'm not entirely sure how to wake him.
Well, you just leave that with us. Can you use this disc? Can you bring him inside and we'll get him set up?
Certainly can.
Yep, and they start at a decent jog, and they're pushing people out of the way, and they lead him through to this room with a few other people in it, all in various stages of distress. And there's a table that they indicate that you should lay him down on, and as you do, the disc disappears, and they begin to start running their hands over him. They're looking. One of them is doing sort of a physical inspection, removing the armor and just making sure he's not physically harmed. The other is sort of testing the aura and starting to work on the magicals. What do you guys do? Are you sticking around?
Maybe we should stick around until we get a diagnosis, a prognosis.
Right, you're shown to a waiting room. There's a bad coffee machine, like 1 thing of crisps in it. You're shown just out of the room. I think you'd probably wander around the grounds for a while, and eventually one of the nuns finds you and says, "Well, your friend, fair to say?
Yes.
Friend?
Yes,
Friend.
our friend.
Yes, your friend is physically unharmed. He's in perfect condition. His mind, however, is wandering. And we don't think he'll wake until his soul is reunited with his body.
Yeah, I was afraid of that. Would we possibly be able to leave him in your care while we go and do that?
Certainly. We will keep him here. We've got a few other like souls. We've got special provision area for them. We'll make sure he's well looked after.
Thank you.
And she gives a curtsy and then rushes off back to tend to her duties.
Sonny will look to John and Valorian. So, where is his soul? How are we going to reunite it with his body? Do you think that will happen when we complete the mission for Glacier?
I think that's what we might have to do, yeah.
Where's the Jordan? Do you know where the flesh court is? Because if it's somewhere far, we can't travel for at least 2 weeks.
That is true. Alex, would I know anything of the flesh court, or is it some research?
Roll some sort of check. Roll a
History check?
no, because it's a little more magical. So I'd say roll maybe an Arcana check. It's the same. It's all intelligence, but and I know you've got a proficiency in both.
That'll be 24.
Okay.
I rolled 2 because I have advantage from the owl on Arcana check.
Oh, of course. 24. Yeah, you've heard of them. You don't know a lot of specifics. You remember from maybe some of your apprenticeships, and yeah, I think that when you were training under your was it you that had the wizard master that was killed by someone?
I don't think he was killed, no.
No,
As far as I'm aware, he's still alive.
don't remember. Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else's backstory.
I have some bad news for you.
Yeah. Oh shit! I just buried the lead on the next plot. No, I don't remember. Anyway, but while you were doing your apprenticeship, I think you would have had sort of your general introduction to, like other magical nations, and you would remember that there's 4 kinds of vampires that are known, and one of them is the Flesh Court, and the courts of the vampires are named after their preferred food. And so you remember that the Flesh Court dines on flesh of any sort of description. And that they are very susceptible to like physical damage, not in a way that hurts them, but just in a way that they can't recover from, unlike other different kinds of vampires who have the ability to regenerate themselves. So because of that, they prefer to live in the furthest reaches of the north, because the cold there helps to preserve their forms.
Interesting. So what would I know what the other 4 are? Flesh, I presume blood.
Blood is another one, yes. And then you've also got life and lust.
Ooh, I like lust.
Yeah, can we go visit them?
Yeah, I was about to say the same
They
thing.
eat your penis. You wouldn't like it.
Talk about your cock gobblers.
Yeah. They are cock hungry.
So we need to go to see some vampires that are going to want to eat us.
Well, not necessarily eaters. The old laws would probably apply to the vampires too. It'd still be
You
fun.
would know that the courts of the vampires are all signatories to the old laws.
I mean, we'd be safe as messengers and emissaries.
How do we?
Yeah, how would they know that as we're approaching?
Tell them.
We are representatives of Galatia.
My fears are that the vampires will be ripping me to shreds and sucking my blood before I get the chance to speak and say I'm on a mission for Glacier.
Well, don't let them.
Also, they wouldn't suck your blood.
They'd
I'll
eat your
protect
flesh.
you, Sonny.
They'd eat your flesh, exactly.
Just like you were.
Just wear a lot of armor. They won't be able to eat it. Well, that doesn't. So we know they're somewhere in the north, but we can't travel there by airship, at least.
So, how many days of repair has the airship had so far?
Like what, 2?
2. So it's
if that.
12 days
So
to
you
go.
probably got 12 days.
Okay, so, and do we get the
We're not.
feeling the mission can't wait? Glazier won't wait 12 days for our airship. And poor
You
Thalar.
didn't get that impression. She specifically said that you've got a task-based mission, not a time-based mission. So as long as or as short as it takes you to finish the mission is as long or as short as is needed. So you could do it in a year, or you could do it in a day. The point is you complete her goal.
Okay.
Do we perhaps know from our research what would happen if we didn't complete the goal?
Nothing good.
Well, you not necessarily from your research, but as you've made a bargain under the old law, it would be nullified. So she would really, I mean, you could probably deduce if you went back on your end of the bargain, she'd just go back on hers.
Should we go have a debrief with the wizards at the Wizard Pavilion? I think that'd be polite, seeing as they've helped us, and we didn't get really a chance to thank them as we disappeared and woke up in bed, and maybe consult them on the flesh-eating vampires and where to find the flesh cart. And I think Sunny would be reluctant to hang around doing nothing for 12 days while poor Thalar's soul's lost. But if that's the only option of travelling there, then he might have to, but maybe the wizards can offer some other solution or advice of where this flesh cart is. Would that be something that could help with John, do you think?
I zoned out a minute there, sorry. Yeah.
So off to see the wizards pavilion, thank them and ask them for advice about getting to the flesh cart to complete one of our tasks for Glazier.
Okay.
You
head back to the pavilion from where were you just now? You were just at home.
The temple.
No, we were at the temple where we
temple,
dropped
right.
off Thalar.
Yeah, you head over there. It takes about an hour to get there, to walk across town. And you are now at the pavilion. What do you do?
So, should we seek out, what's he called again?
Wilhelm?
Wilhelm, yes. Seek an audience with Wilhelm and thank him for last night and all his help and consult him.
Yeah. I think that's the proper course.
Okay. You head upstairs, and you walk in, and the receptionist goes, "Hoo!" and she puts her hand up, and she puts her finger over her lips in a shh motion, and she points to the door and mouths, "He's in a meeting."
Oh, sorry. Any idea how long and when we may be able to see him?
She consults the ledger on her desk, the calendar thing, and she says, "He'll be free in about 2 hours."
Okay. Well, I guess we can wait 2 hours. We need to. Who's he meeting with? Do you mind me asking that?
I don't think he'd want me to tell you. That seems like kind of a, the whole point is discretion, and it's a secretarium.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I
If you
understand.
don't tell us, I will walk in on the meeting. We absolutely need to see him.
Yeah. Oh, okay. You will in 2 hours. Do you want me to? Is it an emergency? Do you want me to interrupt his meeting?
No.
No, I don't think it's an emergency. No, we can wait 2 hours.
Okay.
And is there any seats in her office?
Yeah, there's cushy sort of seats.
Sit down.
Yeah. You spend 2 hours waiting. The secretary cracks on with her work. She shoots an occasional glance at Valoran. She thought he was very rude. But otherwise, cracks on with it. You are offered a hot drink.
Ooh.
It is non-alcoholic.
It is now.
Hey! And, yep, you spend a couple hours waiting. Do you do anything you just wait.
Yeah, we'll just wait and worry about Thalar and the mission. Quite interested to see who comes out the door, though.
Yeah. So after 2 hours, the door opens and you hear Master Mybert, and he says, "Well, very good. Thank you for coming. Always good to see you again." And he opens the door, and you see Lady Salak, the half-elf with the sword and the tattoo on her wrist. You ran into in the same office a few weeks ago.
Oh, I have to check my notes. Lady Salak.
I don't remember her.
We need to start.
You weren't there.
We need to start a wiki of all these NPCs, don't we?
Yes, we do. Speaking of which, no, it's
It
not
was
a
in the
character.
notes somewhere because somebody actually remembered to give her a recap once.
How's the website coming, Adam?
I haven't had much time to work on it these past few days, but now that Josh has done some of the summaries, and I think he's edited the first episode as well, hasn't he?
I think, oh my gosh, he's got so much time on his hands.
So yeah, once I've got a bit of time, I want to. I think the order of thing, I want to get the website looking nice, and then maybe get a few episodes edited before I start, the podcast. So then we've got something to be releasing while we're still editing and working our way through the back catalogue.
Selling advertising space,
Yeah, well, maybe eventually.
Who knows where the next Critical Role goes?
Yeah, that's us.
So, can anyone remember who Lady Salak is? I can't find it in my notes anywhere.
I think Jordan wrote it down.
John? Oh, wait a minute. Half-elf female, exotic, 20 years old, ? Lady Salak, Autumn Court champion of the Fey Forest of Silweald. Silweald.
Yes, that one. That's who she is.
And she comes out, and she sort of starts as she sees you, and she gives you a little nod and says, "Whoa, we must be keeping the same schedule."
Hello again, Lady Salak.
Hello again. Anyone would accuse you of following me. She's got sort of an amused look on her face.
Oh well, I guess we're moving around in the same circles. We're here to see the Master Mybrid. Have you heard of our colleague Thalar and his entrapment by Glazier?
Master Mybrid did mention a few things, but in the interest of discretion, didn't give me most of the details. But I have heard that Cleric was taken prisoner by the Court of Glazier and has since been freed through no small amount of effort.
That's right. Yes. He's in a terrible way, actually. We've come to talk to Master Mybrid about this. His soul is wandering and needs to be reunited with his body, and we think that will only happen when we complete our mission that we've been set by Glazier.
She nods very knowingly, and she goes, "Yes."
Master Mybrid, is it okay if we consult with you? And
yes, of course.
Offer our thanks for last night. We seem to vanish the astral plane and wake up in our tavern. We didn't get the chance to thank you for all your support and help.
Oh, not at all. Of course, this is what we do here. It's a visit pavilion, protect and serve and whatnot.
So forgive me, my lady. We would like to meet with the master now.
Of course, I was just leaving anyway. And she shakes Mybrid's hand, and she strides out of the room.
Okay.
Shuts the door behind her. So what can I do for you?
Oh, as you just heard, Master, Thalar we didn't expect him to be unconscious, and without a soul. I think we've been tricked here by Glazier. No surprise there, I suppose.
It is perhaps too much to hope that there wouldn't be some kind of catch.
And you're aware of the first task we need to complete for Glazier?
Yes, Anael has given me some of the details. Something about the flesh court?
That's right, yes. Our colleague John knows some details of it. All very terrifying details. We need to get there, we feel, to complete this task and hopefully reunite our friend's soul with its body. What do you know of the flesh cart?
And he sort of gives you a very brief overview, which covers off everything that you've already learned.
Okay. And its location?
You will find them in the furthest reaches of the north. And he says, come in, and he shows you a map of the world. It looks like Conga's map, helpfully, in resources. Except it's not as illustrated, it's just the sort of the political map. And he indicates, so if you look at the very top of the map in Gellum, you see there's like a tree with a castle next to it.
Yes.
Next to the painted mountain shape.
Yep, I can see that.
And he points there and he says, that is their stronghold.
Okay, and how many days' travel would you say that is?
But it depends on your method of travel, doesn't it?
Of course, yes. Let me rephrase
I wouldn't
that.
walk if I was you.
Horseback? How long would that take?
That would take... Hang on, this map has a convenient scale indicator. I'd say it'd probably take about 10 days.
Okay. So a 20-day round trip would still probably be worthwhile waiting for our airship to be repaired. Are there any airships for hire in town? Do you know at the moment?
Certainly. There's a huge port. Just, you may know it. There's a tavern there called the Saggy Balloon.
Yes.
I don't go there myself, but I know of it. There are always commercial airships flying or in charters to pay.
Okay, and what are your... Do you think we've surmised correctly that if we complete this task, Phelar's soul will be returned?
Potentially. You may find it comes back before that. You may find it doesn't come back until you've completed both tasks. It depends on the magic that Glazier has wrought on his soul.
Would it be possible to glean those? Sorry to interrupt you, Master.
Potentially, yes, with some examination.
While we are away completing our mission, we have trusted him into the care of the Temple of Lathander and the nuns. Would you or one of your colleagues be willing to consult with them and offer any help or examination to glean the nature of the magic that's affecting him? And
I will do what I can in the time I have. I will consult with Dawn Master Shisk and see if there's anyone from her end that may be able to glean. Magic and face are a little different, so I'm not sure what's been wrought, so we can work together to see what can be done. But rest assured, if we are unsuccessful, I would be very surprised.
Okay. Thank you, Master. I turn... Pardon?
Of course.
Yes. I turn to John and Valoran, and what do you think of the idea of hiring an airship to get us to the flesh cart and get this over and done with as quickly as possible?
Pretty good plan by me.
To the Saggy Balloon?
To the Saggy Balloon.
Okay, so...
Master, how do you recommend we approach the vampires?
What I will tell you about the vampire is as you will know from your studies, each court has different priorities, shall we say, a different rule of governance, different things they place stock in. The Flesh Court are brutal and value only strength. Go in strong, be uncompromising, unyielding. Show them that you mean business and you are willing to kill in order to get what you need. Then they will respect you. If you show any signs of weakness, you will be devoured.
That's what I thought. Thank you very much.
Of course. You may also wish to liaise with the pavilion in the capital city there of Ishar. There's a sort. But I doubt they'll be able to offer too much assistance, as it is not a pavilion mission you're being sent on, but as a one for a demon princess. It may be best to wait until the mission is done.
I would think so. Thank you very much.
Yeah, perhaps that was a hasty recommendation.
So I think my headphones cut out. What? I missed something there. What? Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yep.
Yep. It was just the master and Jordan were talking about the pavilion in the capital city and decided it was probably best to wait until the mission was over before telling people nearby, by the way, I'm on a mission for the demon princess.
Okay. So are we going to go to this saggy balloon?
Let me see if I've got... Are you? That's a question for you and your team.
Yeah, that's what I was... I think we've agreed we're going to go try and hire an airship.
Yeah, how much would an airship cost for a visit? Or just a rent?
I guess we need... Well, we could do with someone flying it, unless... I guess we could... I wonder if our captain would be best placed to negotiate that. Maybe we should go see her first.
Dive part, then we should be able to... Then we should be able to hire a crew and everything. Or there'll just be like coach trips going. Transport for hire.
I think we should get our captain to do this for us.
But she's busy repairing our ship.
Well, do you think she's physically repairing it herself?
I think she's in charge of all the repairs. Right. Yeah.
No, we could ask her. I just think it might save us money. She can talk the talk and walk the walk.
I mean, yeah, she might be able to obtain us one for cheap.
Well, and reliable, and maybe a captain we can trust. We don't want to hire someone and then be abandoned.
But it is, I mean, we're more than powerful enough to take on any pirates that might try anything. But like I said, there should be just like a travel service that you can just get to different cities. There's a giant skyport. Mm-hmm. Would I know that, Alex?
Yeah, absolutely. It's like an airport. Show up, buy a ticket, get a trip on a regular service.
Okay, what's your thoughts, Valorant? Consult the captain or just go hire one ourselves? I guess we should really have the decency to tell the captain that we're heading off, and she may have something to say about it herself.
She might be able to point us in the right direction of a crew or something that is useful to us.
Yeah, that was my thoughts. So yeah.
Okay, you go do that.
You'll what? Sorry.
I'll go shopping.
Okay. So me and Valorian go consult with the captain.
Okay, yeah, you jump on that wagon balloon, and you reach it in, I think it takes about an hour. You find yourself, there we go. You find yourself in the saggy balloon. It's full of the rough and rowdy sailors that you would expect. And in the corner, chatting to presumably a colleague, you see Captain Pequod.
Captain Pequod. Do I see the tattooed dark elf? I think she was called Ashava. Anyway.
Not around you, no.
No, okay. So yes, we go over to Captain Pequod. Captain, how are you?
She stands when she sees you, and she says, hello, Sonny. Very good to see you.
Good to see you too, Captain. How are the repairs going?
Well, we're only a few days in, so little progress so far, but it seems promising enough, and I expect we'll be on schedule.
And what brings you to the Saggy Bottom today? Balloon, sorry, the saggy balloon. This is a little monk. It's a little monk joke.
Very amusing. I'm staying here while the ship is in dry dock. They're thoroughly gutting and stripping some of the bits, so I can't stay in my normal quarters. So I've got a room upstairs. And I was just catching up with my colleague, Captain Tycho, and this stern-jawed man with brown, sort of well-coiffed hair stands. He's got a leather duster on and a firm face, and he extends his hand to shake yours. I won't presume.
Yes, Sonny will shake his hand back. Nice to meet you, Captain Tycho.
Hello, yes. Very good to meet you.
Tycho. Captain Pequod, I'd like to get your advice. We need to make a journey, a rapid journey north as quickly as possible. We were considering hiring an airship to help us with that, and I want to, if you have the time, it would be great to get you on board to help us negotiate such a trip, or at the very least, could you offer us some advice on securing a good airship and crew?
And she turns and glances knowingly at Captain Tycho and says, Captain, I believe you have an airship. He says, indeed I do. Where are you headed?
Have you heard of the vampire flesh court?
I can't say I have.
Okay. Do you have a map on you, Captain Tycho?
Indeed, and he pulls out a small reference map.
Okay, and I show Captain Tycho where we need to get to.
Yep. Well, you're in about half of luck. The good news is I am taking a commercial service from Melima to the capital of Gelem, Izhoar, tomorrow morning. The bad news is that's where we stop. Then we're turning around and we're running another commercial service to Souk, to Morose. So you'll have to find your own way from there, but you're very welcome to come with us at least as far as the capital.
Okay, so that's half of the requirements met. Any, Captain Pequod, we're lacking a return journey here. Any suggestions?
On how to get back?
Yes.
Well, I'm sure you just jump on another commercial airship.
So
I happen to know Captain Tycho. But you don't have to do that. Indeed, you could book anything. You could take a charter flight if you're an airship, much like we have with the Devil's Demise, only you'll find it's more expensive. They will, however, take you directly there, and I'm sure I could make some introductions.
I feel like it'd be a bit rude to say no to Tycho now, but...
No. It's a service. I'm running it anyway, with or without you. Your lack of presence won't offend me, especially if you decide to take something a bit more direct.
I mean,
how far? I'll lean back and whisper to Sonny. How far, or talk to Sonny? How far is the flesh court from the capital again?
It'd be 2 days on horseback.
2 days. Perhaps maybe we could get him to drop us off closer if we pay a little extra.
Is that possible, Captain Tycho?
Not with me, I'm afraid. Of course, I can make an introduction when we get to the capital. Someone, either a smaller service or something charter, but I can't. I'm on a schedule, you see, commercial schedule. I can't take any detours.
Okay, I think time is of the essence here. You're leaving in the morning, Captain Tycho.
Indeed.
When would you need a decision from us?
You're welcome to, if I've got space, you're welcome to come. The flight to is only lesser part of a day. It won't take a full day. Maybe the greater portion of 18-20 hours. So you're very welcome if there's room. You may not need to sleep. You're welcome to stay in the common areas and pay your way that way. If you'd like a room, then it's subject to availability, but you can arrive. I'm on the Cloud Song is my ship, and he gives you the berth number of the document. And we depart at 8:30 sharp.
The Cloud Song, 8:30. Okay, thank you, Captain Tycho. I think we're gonna see what else is available. Maybe even a service that could take us closer and guarantee a return journey. But we may take you up on your kind offer.
Certainly. Perhaps I shall see you in the morning, and if not, and he extends his hand again. It's very good to meet you.
Yep, and if not, safe journey.
And you.
So, Captain Pequod, any recommendations of who to see and where to go to get some more prices?
Certainly, I would recommend, and he kind of scans around the bar, just looking for people he knows. And he says, that one there. Captain Arnold, Luke Arnold, and he points at a younger man with black hair, and he says, trustworthy indeed, and I think he's got a smaller airship that he charters out for freight runs and other things, but there are accommodations on it, there will be at least. I'm sure he could be persuaded to run a passenger service instead.
Okay, let's thank you. Let's go talk to Captain Arnold.
And so you head over, and Captain Arnold is sitting at his own table. He's studying the inside of his tanker very carefully.
Okay, yeah. I signal to the bar, and in sign language, two more, two fingers pointing down, and
yeah, and the bartender gives you a gruff thumbs up.
Captain Arnold, do you have a moment? We may have some business to discuss with you.
I certainly do.
Good. I've taken the liberty of ordering another round of drinks. They're on the way.
Well, we're already off to a good start, aren't we?
Captain Arnold, you our friends Captain Tycho and Captain Pequod over there recommended your services. We need to make a quick journey north, and we're hoping to secure the services of a captain like yourself and an airship to take us there and wait for us. And we have a job to do, and would need a return journey.
Certainly. I do all kinds of charter work for cargo and for passengers. Where you headed?
And I show him on the map again the location of where we need to get to. Have ever been there, Captain?
I've been north. Don't know I've been that particular place, but on the notable thing that I would point out, and I forgot to mention this when you, Captain, what's his name? Captain, the other one.
Tycho.
Thank you. Damn, I already forgot my own captain's name.
Sorry, my headphones cut out again.
You didn't miss anything. It was me trying to remember something.
All right, okay.
So the thing I was going to say that was notable about Captain Tycho's map and the small one that Captain Arnold produces is that neither of them have the that castle on them.
Yeah.
Congas and the Wizard Masters did. So when you point, it just looks like the middle of nowhere to him.
Okay.
And he says, I've been that far north, but is there something out there you're looking for?
Yes, I'm trying to internally gauge how he would react to being asked to be taken. I don't think he'd react very well to us saying that we're going to see some flesh-eating vampires. Yes, there is a castle that we need to visit and deliver a message in hand to. We would require you to get us as close as possible to that location. We may face some hostilities there, so probably wouldn't be safe for you to take us directly to the castle. Maybe several miles away, a drop-off point and collection point perhaps can be reconnaissanced from the air and agreed.
All right, yeah, that sounds fine. A little mysterious, but I didn't get where I am in this industry by asking too many questions. And he clinks your glass.
It's very
When
good.
were you thinking of leaving?
As soon as possible, depending on the price, of course, Captain Arnold. What would we be talking to hire your services and await us for the return journey?
Let's see. So we're going to travel. He starts doing some sums. Going to travel out there. Going to stay until 20 hours. Stay there. How long do you think you'll be there? How long am I waiting?
Let's say initially 2 days. But well, how?
Right. We'll budget 2 days, shall we? 2 days. Very good. So we come back, and then of course. Right. I think that for a trip there, a 2-day wait, trip back, and no questions asked, you're looking at about 1,000 gold pieces.
1,000 gold. Okay, let me, Captain Anna, you enjoy that drink, and I will go consult my colleagues who manage our finances.
Cheers.
All right, cheers. So yeah, I'll speak to Valoran and John, and can we afford 1,000 gold? What are our coffers looking like at the moment?
Jordan isn't with us, right?
Right.
No.
Oh no, it's not. Yeah,
Okay.
sorry.
So I'll say I'm not sure. We'll have to speak to Jordan and see.
I mean, the only reason I'm asking that, I'm sure Sonny would know how much money we've got. It's just I haven't got that on my notes, and I think
2,000 left. We have.
we've got 2,000 left. So that.
Yeah.
I mean, we need to. Do we take so Captain Tycho was offering to take us for free, wasn't he?
I don't think we got the price from Captain Tycho.
I think.
Perhaps we can go ask.
Yeah. Do
Not
you want to do that, Valoran?
Yeah, I can. Alex, is Captain Tycho still in?
Yeah, they haven't moved. It's only been 5 minutes.
Yeah, I'll go back up to Captain Tycho and say, Captain Tycho, how much will your services cost us if we did take you to the capital of Gellum?
That's right. Yeah, the ticket. It's just a ticket. It's a standard rate ticket. It's 80 gold pieces each.
Okay, 80 gold each. Alright, thank you. I'll go converse with my companion.
Yeah, of course.
We'll get back to you. And I'll go and I'll relay that information to Sonny.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we need to decide. I mean, Thalar seems to be in a safe place. I just hate this the thought of his soul being tortured, and we're delaying because of money.
To be fair, we don't know if his soul is being tortured. This is Trevor, not Valoran. Like, yeah, we don't know, do we? Alex?
No, we don't know that.
No, you don't know what's happening.
Okay. So I don't think we can afford 1,000 gold pieces. I think we just need to take Captain Tycho and then get some horses in the capital.
Yeah, and then hopefully get a quick journey back. Okay, I guess need to go see Captain Arnold and apologise, but thank him. But we that's way beyond our budget, unfortunately.
Yeah, you're all right, mate. Thanks for the drink.
No worries. So if Tycho's still in, we'll say we'll see him in the morning. We'll be joining him to Gellum.
Very good. Will you? I've still got a couple rooms left if you'd like some privacy, or of course you're welcome to wait in the common areas. It'll be about 18 to 20 hours depending on the headwind.
Do you have a bar on board?
No, but my wife does have an excellent supply of wine.
Well, if we could be, I'll bring some of my own wine, and perhaps we can dine together. So I think
Certainly. The price of any meals included in your ticket.
Okay, then I think just the common areas is fine.
Very good. We will leave the rooms for others then. We depart at 8:30 in the morning.
Okay. Do you want to cut to Giannon?
Yeah, let's see what Jordan's been up to.
I'm just trying to buy some holy water.
Yeah, you. I tell you what, you get some for free at the temple.
Oh, okay. I'll head there and get some for free.
You. I don't think you would have had to buy it. I feel like Jordan would have thought, oh, I know where the place where I left my ailing friend.
Yeah, that's fine. And then I'll head back to the tavern, I guess.
Yep.
The best place.
So yeah, I guess we'll head back there to meet up with John and explain that we've got the services of a captain, and maybe talk about the price difference and the pros and cons. That that means we'll still have to make a horseback journey once we land.
Fine. Doesn't seem to be in any extra torment. Glacier has released him to us.
Yeah,
I
okay.
think it's more to do with his exhaustion than spending an extraordinary amount of money on an airship when we already have one.
Yeah.
It's just that we can't use it.
Agreed then. So we need to be ready, and
Well.
thank you. We need to be ready and down at the docks for 8:30. Meals included with the ticket price, and it sounds like we might be getting some wine from his good wife. I'm going to I'll take one of my bottles of wine that I got from the underground palace, buried palace.
Okay. Oh, you're out of the tavern now. Hang on. I'll stop the music.
So, John, and you've been to get some holy water. I've never. Sonny's never fought against vampires before. What do I need to know?
That's a good question. Just hit them till they don't get back up, really.
Okay, I know how to do that.
Same as usual. Most of your spiritual abilities would be effective on.
Right.
The only issue is the hardy life forms, and they can be quite. They are. What am I thinking? What's the word I want? Charming, but they vampires are masters of illusion and charm magic.
Right.
So trust your senses, and we'll be fine.
Okay. I believe Sonny's attacks are classed as magical.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Is that helpful?
I think they need magical. I don't know what, but we'll find out. I'm just looking through the spell books to see if there's anything that would assist me about more than a horse.
I have stillness of mind, which you can use your action to end one effect on yourself that is causing you to be charmed or frightened.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So that might be useful. And yeah, Kai empowered strikes. Your unarmed strikes count as magical for the purposes of overcoming resistance and immunity to non-magical attacks and damage.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. And I believe that my martial arts skill allows me to consider my quarterstaff as an unarmed strike.
What properties does that change about it?
Then I get, because then it would be classed as magical, because my unarmed strikes
These are magical because of the rare wraps.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, no, actually, the wraps just gave me the ability to use flurry of blows without spending Kai, and to push someone away.
Okay.
It's one of my monk abilities called Kai where's it gone? Kai empowered strikes that gives me the magical ability. Classes my attacks as magical.
Okay.
Okay.
Any more for any more?
No, I guess just need to make sure we're up in the morning and with the maybe the bar can provide us with a wake-up call.
Yeah, I'm sure that's an offered service. You don't want to be late for school.
So yeah, maybe we arrange that with the innkeeper.
Yeah, you do. They agree to
time.
wake you up. You tell them you've got an 8:30 departure, and they, you got it's international. You got to check in 2 hours beforehand. You got to go security. You got no. They say they'll wake you up in time.
Excellent.
I will put daylight into the owl.
Okay.
Alright, well, I guess we're going to sleep.
Yep.
Wait till morning. See what happens.
Sounds good. You go to bed. You sleep peacefully, and you wake up the next morning. And you come downstairs, and waiting for you in the downstairs portion, the main area of tavern, is one of the watchmen from the pavilion, who stands as he sees you come down the stairs.
Hello, are you looking for us?
Indeed, you are Jordan's fabulous adventuring group.
Yes, that's us.
Yes, very good. I have come with a message from Master Mybert. He told me to bring you. He says that he has spoken with Dawn Master... What's your name? Shisk. Dawn Master Shisk, and they've conducted a review of your colleague Thalar's condition. He says the good news is that there doesn't appear to be any signs of psychic distress, doesn't appear to be in some sort of magical pain.
Good.
And he also doesn't appear to be separate from his body in any way. It's more of an effort of will that he seems to be trapped in some kind of mindscape, and he'll come back when he finishes his whatever he's doing in there.
Okay, well that's a relief. Thank you for sharing that with us. We were about to leave on our mission, so that will put my mind at ease while we're away.
Yes, of course.
Is there
That's all.
Okay.
And he walks out the door.
So, off to Captain Tycho's ship. What?
Go ahead.
Could you remind me what his ship's called again? I've missed.
The Cloud Song.
Oh yes, Cloud Song. Yeah, I've got that. Thank you.
Yeah. So you get to the ship. You jump on. You make it to the airport. You go on the other side. So you came from the I own my own airship side. Now you're going to the passenger end. It's a lot like a real airport. There's a lot more people. It's much more regimented. A lot less slick. A lot less fast. You have to wait in some lines. I think Jordan probably hates that. Having to wait in line. You have to just have an argument with one of the baggage handlers who's trying to take some of your stuff, and you're telling him, no, I want to keep it on me. He says you can't carry it on, there's no room, and you're insisting that there is. Anyway, and eventually you find your way to the Cloud Song, and you are joined there. You see Captain Tycho on deck. You see a gnomish female in the riggings, along with a dragonborn sort of teenager, I guess would be his age, also helping to secure some stuff. And then you see some people standing at the bottom of the gangplank to go up. They're waiting for the all clear. There is an old woman, halfling woman. There is a mom and a dad and a little girl. And there is a woman who's, I'd put around 30-something, and she has this blonde hair and this big fur coat and these high heels on, and she's got bright red lipstick, and she's looking very impatient.
Okay. So we'll proceed up to the airship, I guess.
Yep, you make your way up the gangplank, and you find yourself on the top deck. It's quite similar to the Devil's Demise in the way that it's laid out. It's probably been either built with the same idea in mind, or maybe by the same ship makers. Obviously, the individual details are a little bit different, but just in the general sort of, you're on the top deck. There's a forecastle. There's a quarter deck. There's a couple compartments. There's a dining room, that kind of thing. So you find yourself on deck, and the other passengers come through. The dragonborn teenager and this very tattooed dwarf is helping to load some of the luggage, which goes into the private rooms downstairs. And the captain sees you, and
I'm sorry, Alex, you cut out.
Oh,
where did I lose you?
the captain sees you.
Oh, and he gives a wave.
Oh, excellent. Hello, Captain Tycho.
Good morning. Glad to see that you made it.
Yes, we made it. We made it. Looking forward to the journey.
Indeed. Well, we'll be off in just a moment. We're waiting on clearance and our timing so that we can make sure we don't run into anybody else. And then we'll be on our way.
Would you mind giving this bottle of wine to your good wife? It's
not at all. You can give it to yourself. And he whistles, and a matronly woman, maybe 50, comes up from the stairs, and she's wiping her hands on a flowered apron. And she looks up at her husband, and he says, wife, these are some of our new passengers, and they have a gift for you. She looks skeptically at you, but she smiles, and she gives a little curtsy, and she says, Ariana Tycho, how are you?
Mrs. Tycho, wonderful to meet you. I understand you enjoy wine for your husband.
Indeed, I'm responsible for all of the food and libations on board this ship, so I have a vested interest in making sure it's all the best.
Oh, well, I've looking forward to sampling what you have on offer on board. And I brought you a gift. This is quite an ancient bottle of wine I discovered in one of our adventures under the buried city. Someone remind me what the city was called? The palace.
You don't know?
Pardon?
I don't know.
Where was it again? Let me check my notes.
Demise.
So yeah, I explained to her it's from the buried city of Demeremos. It's quite delicious.
Well, it's nice to see that some people haven't forgot their manners in this day and age. And she accepts it, and she says, "Thank you very much. Save it for occasion."
Excellent.
Can I get you anything before we set off? It's it's a little early for wine, but cup of coffee or some food? Are you hungry?
Oh yes, coffee would be fantastic for me and my friends, and a little bit bite to eat. Thank you.
Certainly, I'll bring that up directly. And she heads back down the stairs.
Excellent.
It's a few moments. I'd say it's probably 5 or 10 minutes before the captain blows on his little pipe whistle. And with a flurry of motion, which you're probably getting a little used to, all the riggings are cast off, and the ship is made ready for its departure, and it begins to slowly ease its way down through this cavern that is the port at Malima, dodging all the major stalactites that you can see that the docks are attached to. And it gets in line with some of the other ships as it exits through that tunnel, that narrow tunnel that leads to the outside world. And as you come out into the outside world, you see a beautiful Malima day from the air. Snow continues to cover the whole ground as we're still in the heart of winter. And you begin to climb along with the other passengers and everybody on board, of course, and you turn now in a direction I don't think maybe some of you have ever been before. You turn northward past the Malima board, and you fly over a large lake, which looks to be fully frozen over. You fly over a mountain pass, and you follow along a river as you approach an enormous inland sea. And after a short time, of course, Ariana's come back. She's brought you some very hot coffee with some foamed milk and an assortment of breakfast pastries that she's prepared herself in the oven downstairs. They're still warm. And you enjoy them as you watch the world slide by. And one by one, the other passengers have settled into their rooms. They've made themselves ready, and a couple of them have come up to join you on deck. You see the woman with the fur coat, who's sort of taking in the view, and you see the old lady who is sitting on a chair. She's had a chair brought up by one of the cabin boys onto the top deck. She's all bundled up in a big coat. She's enjoying the view as she knits a sweater.
Sonny would like to go talk to the old lady, but before he does, he points out the fur coat lady to Valorin and gives him a little wink.
How's Valinetta doing? Out of character.
I don't know. You haven't checked on her in about a month.
Oh, I'm a terrible person.
Well, just remember that your actions have consequences.
I'm banned from there, aren't I?
Yeah, you are. You're banished.
Oh wait, are you the banished one? I thought that was Jordan.
No, that was me.
Oh yeah, you killed.
I don't do anything wrong. I'm a hero. That guy's an idiot who kills guards, man.
Yeah, now that I remember, Sonny did kill the guards. What? Alright, anyway.
Salt in the wound. I'd like to go talk to the little old lady then, unless, Trevor, do you want to go talk to the roleplay there? Talking to the fur coat lady?
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think Valorin would want to right now.
No? Okay.
I think Valorin's just
he's just remembered that he hasn't talked to the princess that he had a crush on him in about a month. I think he's probably.
I think the woman in the fur coat reminds him of the princess, and he's thinking back and it's like, oh crap.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's right.
Fair enough. So Sonny goes sit next to the older lady, and I'd like to do an insight check just to see if she would be offended if I offer her a drink.
Okay, go ahead and roll an insight check.
I have got 8.
You can't tell.
No. Okay, so it's a bit chilly up here, isn't it?
Oh yes, it's biting cold, but I do love the cold air. It's very bracing.
Can I get out a hip flask of whiskey? Would you like something to warm you up there?
Oh, how kind! What is it you've got there, young man?
This is some whiskey. I've brought from. I'm a monk, and my monastery brews all sorts of different alcohols, and this is one of their whiskies.
Oh, very good, thank you. I'm partial to brandy myself.
And she pulls out a small hip flask from her yarn bag.
She beats me to it. Sonny was also reaching for some brandy. Swaps it.
And she catches you, and she sort of points and does the you were doing the same thing at the same time.
Very good. I bought this. It's not as impressive as making it myself. I do make my own liquor, but it's a bit stronger than most people like.
Sonny's eyes widen. You make your own? What? Could I try some?
Oh, certainly. It's in my room at the moment, and I'm very old, as you can see. So getting down there it'll take a bit of doing. So come and find me, call on me at my room, or indeed at dinner time, and I'll make sure there's some available.
Oh,
I hope you can hold your drink, young man.
And she kind of pinches you on the cheek.
Oh, I've been known known to, but I'll watch out for you. Yes. So it's a date. I'll see you at dinner time.
Oh, and she said, "Oh, a date? Yes, of course. Lucky me, an old lady getting a date with a strapping young thing. Would you like a cookie?"
Oh.
And she reaches into her yarn bag of cookies.
I would love one. Sorry, I'm so rude. I'm Sunny. What's your name?
I'm Floris Pellower.
Floris Pellower. Good to meet you.
Good to meet. Sorry, I was typing out my name. Good to meet you too, Sonny. Where are you going?
We are joining you, I believe, all the way to Gellum.
Yeah, well, yes, I know. We're all going to the same place, dear. I meant, why are you going to Gellum? What's vacation?
Oh no, me and
are monks allowed to have a vacation?
I suppose you could say I'm on permanent vacation. My monastery
nice.
Encourages its monks to explore the world and record what we see and enjoy life and spread happiness.
That's lovely, dear, lovely.
I'm also an adventurer. I'm here, and I point out my two friends. We are on a mission to deliver a message in Gellum, and which I do hope will help a friend of ours who is quite ill at the moment.
Oh dear, and she sort of puts her gnarled hand on top of. I'm very sorry to hear that, dear. I've lost many friends myself, and I know how hard it can be. I hope it all goes very well for you. And adventuring, what an exciting idea.
Thank you, Floris. I bet you've seen an adventure or two in your time, though, haven't you, Floris?
Oh, yes, of course. Haven't we all?
Well, Floris, I am going to join my colleagues, and I look forward to seeing you at dinner.
It's a date.
It is a date.
She blushes a little. She goes back to her knitting.
Okay. And then I'd quite like to go just say hello to the fur-coated lady as well.
Sonny, go.
Yeah, Sonny's doing the round.
Right, well, he's sociable, isn't he, Sonny?
You really
go talk
he's
to
drunk. You walk over and you approach, and she, out of the corner of her eye, she gives you the bitch lights up and down, and she doesn't say anything.
Okay, Sonny would probably not even recognise that.
I don't think you would either. I just wanted it noted for the record.
And would you like a cookie? That'll. Floris, that lovely lady Floris over there has just given me this cookie, and you seem like you might like a bit.
She kind of looks at you, and then looks at the cookie, and then she looks at Floris, and looks back at you, and she says, "No, thank you. I don't need a cookie."
Okay. Would you like a drink? And I pull out 2 different flasks.
And she raises her eyebrow at that and says, "Do you have it?"
Do I have what? Sorry, I missed that.
What do you have there?
Oh, this one is whiskey and this one is brandy.
I will have...
She'll have what? Sorry, I missed that again.
a little whiskey, I think.
Okay, and I hand her the whiskey, and it's cold up here, isn't it? This should warm you up.
Oh, I am used to the cold. I grew up in such places.
I don't. Sorry, I'm new to these areas. I don't recognise I recognise you've got an accent, but I can't place where that's from. Where are you from?
When we get to Gellum, my friend, you will be the one with the accent.
So you are from Gellum.
Indeed, I am.
Oh, fabulous. Would you mind if me and Floris joined you at dinner? And I'd love to hear more about Gellum.
She looks over at the old lady. Not at all. I will be happy to tell you about my home and what you must do and what you must not do.
That would be fabulous. May I get your name? I'm Sunny.
Barda.
Barda. You are so kind. I was a bit intimidated to come over and talk to you. You didn't look, if I hope you forgive me saying, all that happy. But you're delightful. Thank you.
Thank you. You are probably the first person to say that to me in some time. But you can always get somewhere with a drink.
That's funny. That's one of the mottos of my monastery. You can always get somewhere with a drink. Have you been to the monastery of Yit?
I cannot say I have, but it sounds like a place I would enjoy.
I would. If you ever head that way, tell them Sunny sent you.
I will do just that.
Well, I will join you at dinner then, as agreed, with Floris.
She, she gives a little nod and goes back to studying the horizon.
Okay. So I mentioned to Valoran and John that I think I may have found us a local of our destination, Gellum, and that she's willing to give us some advice of the customs and what to avoid.
We're not going into Gellum, though. We're just going through Gellum.
Yes, but that might be useful information to help us when we land and have to hire horses, etc.
Surely we just hire horses like you would anywhere else. But yeah, go talk.
Yeah, well, as our illustrious leader John, and I will leave that up to you then. I will seek the advice of that good woman and leave you to decide what you want to do with that or not.
Cool.
Okay. Is there anything else that you guys want to do while you're here on board this wonderful airship?
Enjoy the view. What can we see?
Oh boy. By the time dinner sets in, and I think what I'll do, even though just call it right before you sit down for dinner so I have time to actually think of something interesting, is you find yourself, you're wending on, and you can hopefully follow along in the map. So you've left Malima, you've come over that little lake, you've crossed the mountain pass, you're going up the river, that blue line there, north. And so you can see, you're on the port side of the ship, and so you can see out, you see this thick forest, which is at the very top of the country of Plostry that you're crossing over now. You see some small towns, and then a military encampment right next to this enormous inland sea, which stretches for miles and miles and miles. It's fraught with some white caps, some waves. Lots of clouds. It's a bit of a gloomy day. And you can see that the crew, the dwarf, the dragonborn, the gnome lady, they all are on the lookout for probably pirates, as you would expect, having had a run-in or two with those before. As you get to this enormous inland sea, and you can see this here on them, the sea itself is framed by two huge mountain ranges. They tower interminably high, thousands of meters, and they separate the borders naturally of these plains on one side, these sort of snowy plains on one side, and the tundra on the other. Of course, the political borders are a little different, but you see these snow-capped peaks, and you think you can maybe just make out the city of Kakpa, the capital, there in the distance, but it's a bit of a smudge. And at that very moment, the dinner bell rings.
Excellent. So,
and yeah, go ahead.
I'll seek out my good friends Floris and Barda.
Good. You go in. What we'll do is we'll say you go into the dining room. It's one big table.
with 10 or 12 seats on it. You sit down next to Froris, who is already seated. She looks very excited for dinner. And Barda comes and sits directly across from you. The captain takes the head of the table. The parents with their child sit over towards the captain. Some of the crew join you, and then his wife, Mrs. Tycho, comes in, and she's laid on quite the spread. You've got roasted partridges, soups, salads, all manner, and plenty of... I think Sonny would find that it was good wine. He certainly had better, but as far as, like, traveling on an airship is concerned, you are suitably sort of like, okay, they clearly know what they're doing. They've taken the time to just bought the screw tops.
Yeah.
Is the rest of the session this meal?
I was going to end it before we get to the meal. I was just going to say, and that maybe we'll...
Okay.
I need to get some stuff sorted.
No worries. So, when we return next week, potentially, depending on how England do and all the things we have.
No, I mean, like, we are. It is coming up, no doubt.
It's fine. Yeah, fine.
If
so
Josh is
we'll
available, how are you going to fit him into the
That's
current...
a really good question that I'm giving myself a week to think about.
Okay.
And I'll have a chat with him about some stuff, because what I might do, I don't want you just to be sitting there and listening to me do a particular thing with him until he works his way through some plot point. So I might just do that with him separately, and then reintroduce him back into the group game somehow.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Just
sure. I have to have a chat with him.
Just say he woke up, he beat whatever illusion he's in, and they teleport him to us.
Yeah, it might be a bit more nuanced, but that's a good jumping off point.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not. This is why you're the DM, Alex.
Well, I'm also going to let Josh make some decisions. He's just found that he's woken up after being kidnapped by a demon, and everybody ended him. He decided to go at all. You have no idea. So we'll see what he decides.
Good point.
Right.
All right. Well.
Thank you very much. I enjoyed that.
Yeah. Thank you, Alex.
Of course. And hopefully I will see you next week.
Yep.
Yeah. Alrighty. See y'all.
Good night, everyone.